This is why you have to get real friends, ladies, who are going to tell you the truth. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bella's Corner, where the truth is delivered with love. Thank you so much for joining me. I greatly appreciate it. If you're new, welcome. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any of my new uploads or when I go live. And ladies, always remember to keep it classy and never trashy. I'm Femininity Coach Bella. Let's go ahead and get into it. So as I'm sure you know by now, Tia Mowry, once again, is trending. You know, this is just honestly a sad situation because the Black community already carries so much baggage when it comes to the family dynamic. I think in today's society, people glamorize, and particularly women, of course, glamorize the idea of the wedding without actually putting in true effort and thought in terms of, for one, the vows, and two, what it takes to actually last in the marriage. People, they don't take the covenant of marriage seriously. And people who've been married 10, 15 plus years, all of a sudden popping up with divorces further again gives people a confirmation bias for people who already don't believe in marriage and it working and it being sustainable. It already gives them an out as to why they shouldn't get married, or as to why they should be able to just hop into a marriage and hop right out of it. It's unfortunate because we don't see enough people in the media in particular who speak up when it comes to how to maintain a healthy relationship. And someone like Tia, who has been in the limelight, as she said, since she was 14, it's unfortunate that even people like her, who some of us grew up with, I grew up watching Sister. So it's just unfortunate to see her marriage crumble. But really, it was due to her, as I've discussed in one of my previous live streams, due to Tia having the fear of missing out. I honestly, within my heart, y'all, believe that Tia felt like that since she had been with her husband, Corey, since she was in her 20s, she feels like she missed out on her quote, whole phase. She missed out on being able to have fun and being able to try this guy and do this and try that guy, being able to go on a girl trip and not feeling guilty or not having the, for lack of a better term, anchor or ball and chain around her ankle when it comes to the fact that she's walking around with a wedding band, a wedding ring on, so she can't allow this man who approaches her at the bar to give her a dance or to buy her a drink. Now that she's divorced, she feels like she can finally partake in all of the things, again, that she, quote, missed out on. And this, ladies, is a reason why I've mentioned you have to be careful when it comes to having single friends. Now, we are going to pull up I kind of pieced together a little bit of her sneak peek for her new show, and we're going to discuss some of the things that she said, including her relationship with her identical twin sister, Tamera. But I want to say this. Again, ladies, this is why I have spoken on this time and time again to beware and even, if necessary, steer clear of having single friends, especially if the single friends that you have are not marriage minded. Ladies, we know if the friends that we have are wives or not. Because when a married woman surrounds herself around single women who are doing single activities, she certainly can feel like the odd man out, like the black sheep, like the oddball. And I genuinely believe that Tia felt this way because she was too busy delving into social media, TikTok, Instagram, and she feels like that because she isn't being fawned over in her comment section and she's just getting the validation of one man, which at the time was Corey, her husband, she felt like maybe she wasn't beautiful. She just felt like she was just missing out again on that experience. And that's why I said in my live stream that I truly feel like the reason that Tia filed for divorce was due to the fear of missing out, and her fear of missing out overtook her, and the friends that she had in her corner were validating her feelings rather than asking her the appropriate probing questions that would assist her to truly navigate how she feels, if it was reasonable, and if it would be the best decision, her life as well as the lives of her future children. And I think she filed for the divorce frivolously, and I think that she's regretting it and will regret it the longer that she's not divorced. And I'm going to say this one last thing, and then we're going to get to the clip. So my husband leaves for work quite a bit. Not like all the time, but often enough for me to sorely miss him. And in my husband's absence, it has truly shown me how much he does for me and this family. It truly shows me the importance of having his helping hand, and even just not even the things that he can do, but simply his presence being in the home. I feel safer when my husband is home. I feel more secure, and just the atmosphere is just, I just love him being here. I love him being able to smell him and see him and hear his laugh and just being able to cuddle up with him. I truly, again, feel his absence when he's gone. I think that over time, like initially women, when they file for divorce, they feel free. But over time, they begin to feel that absence, because women who filed for divorce, she began to resent her husband. No matter what he did or who he was, I believe that she began to resent him. She lost an appreciation and a longing for him. When women are aware that their feelings are starting to turn into a form of resentment or unappreciative, for her to check that, which is why I speak on selflessness and introspective work all the time over here, because when we notice those feelings arising, ladies, we can address them rather than allowing them to eat us up and ultimately causing us to make a decision that could essentially be detrimental or harmful to our lives. So welcome to my TED Talk. But let's go ahead and get into this clip, because we have some things to discuss.
There is a whole another side of me. This is also me. It's not easy going through a divorce. I got tired of people thinking that everything was perfect when it wasn't. Tia, you shouldn't have to act in your life. Yeah.
Okay, y'all. I know I just turned this on, but my thing is, why are you crying? Ma'am, you filed for the divorce. I agree, you shouldn't have to act in your life. But the thing is, when it comes to anyone, but from my perspective and my opinion, when it comes to actors and actresses, sometimes they have an issue with separating their character from their real lives. They leave the set still in character, still in the mindset of the character that they're playing, rather than plugging back into the reality that they actually live in. And so day after day, time after time, that can truly weigh on their spirit. That can cause depression, that can cause anxiety, that can cause different forms of stress that are not good on the psyche of individuals. So there shouldn't have been a reason, if she wasn't trying to be perfect, to feel like people thought that everything was perfect. See, my thing is, for me, I never profess that my marriage is perfect, because it's not. It has taken work, and we continue to work. How in the world can a relationship be perfect when we know that we are two flawed individuals? How in the world can two things that are imperfect create something perfect? That's impossible. So if you're too busy being stuck on trying to look and appear perfect, you've got the imposter syndrome going on, then that is what's causing you to put the personal pressure on yourself to look perfect. Many people are perfectionists. It seems like to me, what I perceive from Tia is she is a perfectionist. And I think that is another small part of the reason as to what drove her to filing for a divorce, because she was trying to pretend to be perfect. She was trying to look to be perfect rather than actually putting in the work to get as close to perfect as possible with Corey.
And I think I lost me. I have this beautiful house. I have amazing kids. But the one thing that I don't have is love.
Do you think you have time Friday night to go on a date?
Divorce is about starting over, and you have to learn how to live again.
It's hunting season, child. Let me tell you.
I have a beautiful house. I have a beautiful life. I have a beautiful children. But the only thing I don't have is love. She had love, but she divorced love. She had someone who was going to love her. through thick and thin, through ups and downs, richer and for poorer, for sickness and for health. You had that from Corey, and you divorced him. Am I missing something here? Many women, they go looking for something and validation from the outside when they should have been focusing on what or who is within. And in this case, I'm referring to the husband that she had. Tia was looking for validation from outside resources rather than seeking or appreciating the validation that she was getting from the source. And that source is her husband, of course. Ladies, when you're too busy focused on getting validation and attention from people outside of your home, from men separate from your husband, you have busted through the danger zone. You have thereby decided that your husband is not important enough, and his feelings and opinions and thoughts of you are not enough to satisfy you, to secure you. This should speak to you and tell you that you are in fact insecure. I believe Tia is insecure. She has some unaddressed self-esteem, even in her 40s, that came about even while she was on the set of Sister Sister. And now it has reared its ugly head into her previous marriage. And not only is Corey affected, now these children are.
Everything is just new. Oh, it's you. And scary.
You've been doing hard.
New and scary. As she having strippers dancing all up in her face. Ugh. I would not want any other man's bodily fluids, skin, all up on me, all up in my face, all up on top of me. No, thank you. But see, the fear of missing out. Tia felt like she missed out on being able to have that college girl, I'm in my 20s fun. Let's go to the strip club. Let's get bottomless mimosas and get lit, and then go here and go there and meet different men. Let's see how many numbers we could get. All of these childish little girl games. Tia missed out on that because she was locked down. Remember, she said she had been tied to someone her entire life. Her twin and then Corey. So she felt like that she missed out on the ratchetry that she otherwise felt like she should have experienced in her 20s. And so she's gotten this divorce, divorced herself from a man who more than likely didn't like her shaking her rump on TikTok and Instagram. So now she gets to shake her rump for as long as she wants and for whoever she wants, even on camera. Ladies, you have to stop living in the past. I think Tia was living in the past, and her living in the past is what caused her to ruin her future. Rather than working through the turmoil, rather than working through the insecurities and her feeling invalidated. I'm not saying Corey was completely right or Corey was perfect. But of course, she has spoken much more than Corey. And Corey did say that he did not want to divorce. And I perceive him to be a good man. So I'm sure he's probably willing to put in the work to save the marriage. But Tia was not willing to do that. Tia was already gone. Tia had already decided that she wanted to live a hot girl life, a hot girl summer. But she's been getting a rude awakening. We've already seen on her social media where she hasn't had the best dates. She hasn't had the most fun on the dating market. That's because times are different than it was 20 years ago. And although I think Tia is saying that she's starting to learn herself and she's starting to find her happiness and all of this, I do think she realizes how much of a good man that she actually had married. Ladies, we have to remember that when we marry, it's not that we forget our happiness, but it's we have to consider other people's lives and happiness as well. When you are in a marriage and have children especially, you are not or cannot have or be a selfish individual. It's not going to work. You cannot be focused on your happiness and no one else's. If your husband is not loving you the way you need, have a conversation about it.
Whole life, it just looks different now.
I'm ready to share my story. I'm so excited about my future now. I am ready for my next act. I love you, my love. You ready to go nice? So it's been about 1.5 years since I got a divorce, and I am slowly learning who I am. I came into this world with a twin, And right after that, I went into a 22-year relationship. So I have never been alone in my life. It has been quite a journey. So I have two incredible children. I will start with the oldest, Cree Taylor Hardrick. He is now 13 years old. He didn't feel comfortable being on camera. And as a mom, I just want to respect that. And then
Cree is the same one who questioned her about being in a bathing suit and some heels, recording TikTok videos. Cree is trying to figure out, now mama, when all of a sudden you get all buck wild like this? Showing all this skin, trying to be all sexy on camera.
I have a beautiful daughter, Cairo Tiana Hardrick, who is 5 years old. She gives me so much joy. She always reminds me to enjoy the little things and just to enjoy life. We have to finish your hair.
I'm grabbing something.
What are you grabbing?
I'm grabbing a worry doll.
Aw, that's a worry doll? It's almost like she feels my energy. Close my eyes and then what do I do?
Make your walls go away.
Make my worries go away, make my worries go away, make my worries go away. One of the challenging things about going through a divorce with a child is there are times when I do hide my pain. I will put a smile on my face even though I am frustrated, I'm overwhelmed, and I'm just not feeling right.
You cannot make your children your emotional support animals. If you make anyone that besides God, that should be your spouse. But when you divorce your spouse, you no longer have that. Now you have to put the weight of that on your children when they should not have that. That's how son husbands are created. That's how daughters grow up feeling like they have to take care of their mother because they feel like they owe their mother for giving birth to them due to all the pain that she had in her life. When a lot of that pain was self-inflicted. That is unfair to put that type of stress onto your children. Yes, children are very empathetic. They definitely can tell when something is off. And they are little sweethearts. They'll give you a hug, and their cute little baby voices will make you feel better. But at the end of the day, that is not their job. It is your job to care for them, to teach them emotional intelligence, emotional control, kindness, how to be proper humans, not putting your stress and your unhappiness and your anxiety on them and expecting them to make you feel better and to make you feel good. They're children. If anything, you're supposed to do that for them as their parent, not the other way around.
Almost at your daddy's house, okay?
Hooray, I like going to daddy's.
I know you like going to daddy's. I feel like one of the hardest things that I've had to adapt to is dropping my kids off at their dad's house. I've always wanted the family dynamic of having a mom and a dad in one household. And when you're dropping your kids off, you actually visually see how that is no longer. We're about to go to daddy's house.
Ma'am, you had that, Tia. It was your choice. Corey didn't pass away. Corey didn't cheat. You divorced him. You left him. You decided he wasn't enough for you. So it's your fault your children won't grow up in a two-parent household. Many times, we ladies are the source of our stress, of our anxiety, of our poor experiences in life because of the bad decisions that we've made, not the things that others have done to us.
Being alone has been the most challenging part of my divorce. It's times like this when I feel and wish that my sister and I were still close and I could, pick up the phone and call her. But that's just not where we are right now.
I wonder why. Probably because every time you speak to her, you start emotionally dumping on her. And Tamera probably doesn't have time for that. Oh, and just so y'all know, in case you can't tell the difference between Tia and Tamera, Tamera is the one with the mole. I think she has a mole like by her nose. And Tia is the one without the mole. That's what I realized from a young age, how I could tell them apart. Tamera is the one with the mole. Okay, anyway. Tamera doesn't have time for you to emotionally dump on her every time you call her. Tamera is in a healthy, loving marriage. Tamera seems very happy, very satisfied, and very much like the traditional wife. Tamera doesn't have time for you to try to convince her how boring her life is or to try to make her feel like she's missing out. That's why I mentioned earlier, ladies, you have to be careful about your single friends, even your family members, even if it's your own identical twin sister. Tamera doesn't want you rubbing off on her. She doesn't want your negativity and you wallowing in your pain and sadness and loneliness all the time after she has probably told you not to divorce that man. She doesn't have time to be trying to give you pep talks every single day. So unfortunately for you, she had to distance herself for her peace, for her mental and emotional stability. Sometimes that's what you have to do, especially ladies, in order for you to remain in a healthy, happy relationships, you have to cut off dead weight or people who constantly bring negative conversation and negative energy to your life, even if it is your family member, unfortunately. Tamera is not going to allow her sister to, in so many ways, ruin her life, ruin her marriage. Tamera is very wise. Of course, Tamera loves her sister. But the thing is, you have to allow adults to adult. After you've tried to possibly show them the way and give them advice and advise against or for something that they want to do or don't want to do, after so long, you have to wipe your hands off and let them do what they're going to do. Because sometimes for some people, experience is the best teacher. And Tia is clearly the one who needs that experience, at least particularly for this situation. So Tamera and Tia not being close anymore is more than likely due to Tia's choice. Tia, you went on a divorce tour. You're going on show after show, doing interviews, talking about how you graduated from your marriage. Do you think Tamera, in a healthy and happy relationship, is going to want to constantly hear your reasoning and how much more, quote, happy supposedly that you are being single, and her asking you if you thought about possibly, how your life would be without your husband, just planting seeds of negativity, doubt, and possible divorce? No, Tamera doesn't have time for that. She doesn't have time to be associated with someone who has literally prided themselves over breaking up their family. That's why Tamera and Tia are not close anymore. That's why Tia can't simply just pick up the phone and talk to her sister, because her sister has, with love, distanced herself for the sake of her relationship, her marriage, and her family.
Hey, Boo. Hey, I just dropped Cairo off.
And how was that?
I don't know why. I can't shake this mood I'm in right now. Like, I just keep on doing what I do best, which is ruminating, and I don't know, I just don't want to be alone, to be honest with you.
See, she calls her friend and she starts dumping on her. She doesn't want to be alone. When she can't dump on her kids, that's when she dumps on her friends, her single friends likely, because they're the only ones who are going to completely validate her emotions without trying to speak some type of sense into her. I don't want to be alone. Well, babe, you chose to be alone.
Where are you, T?
I'm on my way to set.
Okay, I'll meet you there.
So Natasha's visiting me on set for my new movie, and today's the last day.
Natasha interview, take one.
What up, guys? My name is Natasha. I used to live 1 block away from Tia. Like, literally, I could see my place from her backyard. So we would do these neighborhood walks. That was, like, very therapeutic anytime her and I wanted to, like, catch up.
I miss you. How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm okay.
Yeah, I've been seeing the headlines. I know y'all are going viral right now with that awkward hug. Like, it's so
exhausting.
stupid.
It's exhausting. The red carpet video? Yeah, about that. This was the first time that Corey and I had ever seen each other on the red carpet since the divorce. This is an event where women are being celebrated and honored, and he had never gone to any one of these events. I go to them almost every year. It was blown way out of proportion, and we actually went viral. People are wanting to know what happened and why it happened so much that they are trying to create narratives and stories in their own head and then put it out there. Who does that?
I don't know.
Tia, because you went on a divorce tour. You went on morning show after morning show. You were on social media talking about it, talking about your divorce. So of course people are going to talk about it. Everyone knows sister. Come on. And yes, people could just see through the foolishness. And yes, all we could do was speculate because you didn't actually give a reason. It just sounded like you were going through some sort of personal evolution. Like maybe you entered menopause. So you were becoming a new person, and it was so much to handle. And rather than leaning on your husband to help you through that stage of evolution for you, you decided that he was dead weight, so you wanted to cut him off instead to pursue this new you. So yes, people are going to speculate in terms of what the possible real reason would be. The media does that. Who does that? The media does that, honey. The media.
Like, people have so much to say, and these headlines are what they be making up. I'm not going to even tell you most, but you are staying out of the comments, right? Like, you're not reading too much into it. You're not letting it get to you. You are here. Focus on your work, right?
In the beginning of my divorce, I became obsessed. I became fixated on what people thought, what people were saying, what people were thinking. Oh, God, the real reason Tia asked for a divorce. Really, do you know the real reason? Tia Mowry keeping her divorce a secret.
Do you?
Here's why. Why did Tia Mowry give up a good thing and leave her man? And if I'm being very honest with you, it made me mentally ill. I remember when I first got a divorce and I signed my divorce papers. And right after I signed, I had to go straight back to work. I wasn't real.
You got mentally ill, Tia, because you started to question what you did. Because the headlines and the comments were asking questions that your therapist didn't ask. That you didn't allow your sister to ask. That your single friends, like the one who sit next to you, didn't ask. Trying to reason with you as to if there was a solid and concrete reason to break up your family. That's why you got mentally ill. Because you have started to realize that your decision may be backfiring. Maybe you didn't make the perfect decision. Because remember I said I think Tia is a perfectionist. I think that's her problem. She definitely comes off as being a perfectionist, which can be quite exhausting.
Be able to fully process like what really was going on. I knew what was going on. I knew what I was doing, but I didn't have time to just stop and really process what had just happened. I want to be known and seen for my work.
Yeah.
I don't want to be known and seen for drama.
But
Then you shouldn't have went on a divorce tour, Tia. You could have gotten your divorce and been quiet about it. You could have gotten a divorce and grieved the relationship. But instead, I graduated from Corey. I graduated from my marriage. You did that. So now you are Miss I graduated from my marriage. Sorry, Tia. You did that to yourself. It amazes me how even grown women are confused as to why they receive the backlash or responses from people off of decisions that she made on her lonesome. And another thing, she said as soon as she got her divorce, she immediately went back into working. She immediately distracted herself from her decision. She didn't even sit in it. She didn't sit in it long enough. Again, she went on divorce tour, so she probably hadn't even sat in it in. So really, in her working and divorcing and talking to people, because if she's on public television talking about it, she's talking to people on the set about it, people in passing, her makeup artist, her hair, makeup and wardrobe person. And that's what created the I graduated narrative, the I graduated idea. Well, congratulations. You graduated from your marriage and into a new life of stress, of feeling even still invalidated, of feeling incomplete because you're on the dating market and you want love. So you're going to be looking for it in all the wrong places and men who are 10, 15 years younger than you.
Your healing journey.
How so?
Because you have thick skin. You're in this business. You handle rejection all the time.
I do.
You know, like, so this is just a different kind of rejection because people are being nasty towards you for the first time in your life.
No, sweetie, this is different because she divorced her husband. This has nothing to do with acting. This has nothing to do with the industry. This has to do with her real life and her real choice. And see, this is what I'm talking about. This is why you have to get around the right friends to actually tell you the truth. She's not telling her the truth here. Yes, she's dealt with rejection. So yes, she's built up resilience in that instance, but not when it comes to her familial relationship, her marriage, the covenant, the vows. Yes, the internet can be cruel. Yes, people can be quite mean. So I don't disagree there. However, this is different because a decision like that completely changes the trajectory of one's life. Personal life, because at the end of the day, they could find someone else for that role, but that man's heart is still scarred. And those children are now bouncing around two different homes. And that's reality, not the industry. That's her personal life, not a movie set. This is why you have to get real friends, ladies, who are going to tell you the truth, even when it hurts, even when it stings. The Bible says in Proverbs, it basically said, and I'm going to paraphrase, the wound of a friend is better than a kiss from an enemy. It is better for those who love you to tell you the truth, even if it's bitter, even if it doesn't feel good, than someone who is your enemy or someone who doesn't mean you any good or someone who is bad for you to give you something that feels good. She gave her a piece of cake when Tia needed a lemon. Tia needed some salt.
They see you dancing on your TikTok and they're like, she's not phased, but they have no idea what you've been battling with for years.
I feel that right now, yes, I am vulnerable in my life, but it's the first time where I am actually realizing that I have a choice. I have a choice. I have a choice to speak my mind. I have a choice to be me. I have a choice to be happy. I got emotional. I didn't realize I had a choice. I just didn't. I don't call that crazy.
I'm sorry, y'all, but it's like, yes, in marriage, we do change as people. But you truly did not feel like yourself in your marriage? Or were you acting, pretending? Or were you trying to be that, quote, perfect person, perfect wife on the outside, but it was eating you up on the inside? So I understand the pain that she's going through from the point of view of she was putting so much pressure on herself to where it caused her to feel like she was acting even in her personal life. But whose fault is that? You cannot act in your personal life, in real life, as you are on the movie scene, on the movie set.
You good?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
You will be good.
Oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this. It is not easy to take life head on. I just want love.
No, you want love and understanding.
Yes, what I've seen myself do throughout this journey is take that leap.
Can I get your number?
Do you think you have time? Friday night's a long day.
And not even know where I'm going.
Hi, gorgeous.
But also, just to have fun. No matter where I'm going, I have my tribe, I have my children, and I have me. Girl, you got this.
I have my tribe, I have my friends, I have my children, and I got me. Your children, Tia, they're going to grow up one day, and then who will you have? You may have 8 friends today, but you may have 5 tomorrow, and then 3 next year, and then 2 in 5 years, and then 1 in 10. Because maybe they've moved on in their life. They've moved to a different state. They've got married. They've distanced themselves, just like Tamera distanced herself from you. And then what? You have no friends, your children are grown, and you're still, quote, looking for love. When you could have worked on the love that you had. Who is choosing you and the family that you created with him every day. One day your children are going to see you as Tia, not mommy. And then you're going to have to relive and rehash all of this that you have done and said over the past year and a half. What will you say then? Cree is 13. He's going to be able to see soon. And Cairo, she will grow up. And she will see you as a woman, not mommy. And they will have conversations with dad. And they will see the couple interviews that he's done. And then they're going to see his side. And then again, what are you going to say then? It's all fun and games now. It's all, ooh, I get to laugh and have fun and be, quote, free, liberated now. But really, it's false liberation. You're just putting yourselves in chains of worry, in chains of loneliness, in chains of needing more and more validation, more fun, more activities to fill your empty life. Because your kids are going to grow up. Cairo's going to grow up. She's not going to need you to take care of her as if she's 4 when she's 8, and then 13, and then 15, and 16, and then 20. She's not going to need you like that. So day after day, year after year, you're putting on chain and chain and chain again. False liberation, but really it's going to be loneliness, chains of resentment, regret. I hope Tia finds love again. And I hope it's as fulfilling as her love was with Corey. And in that, I also hope she comes to realize the mistake she made, even if she doesn't admit it on the public stage. Because at the end of the day, you gave this man your youth, your womb. He was there supporting you through your ups and your downs. And he loved you for you. And he wanted to work it out. But you left because you wanted to find yourself instead of finding yourself within your marriage. The vows you take are not a joke. You stand before God and your family and this man who you've chosen to be with, that you were going to be with him until death. And you go back on your word because you've allowed fantasies to be implanted within your mind from people who probably will never or have never tasted a piece of the love and stability that you had. But that's all I have for you. The truth has been signed, sealed, and delivered by yours truly. If you like the content you see, then please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any of my new uploads or when I go live. And if you know of any women who you think would benefit from this information, then please share. And until next time, I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.